for Soultalk. And I'm your host, AlenaChapman, with Melinda Ingle, my co-host. All right, it's all about that angel and that instigator. And I'll tell you what, thank you for your questions, for the ones who send them in, because otherwise we wouldn't have a show, right?
Right,
Yeah. So, by the way, send in more questions.
Yes.
We want more questions. We're getting good questions. We're actually getting wonderful questions. However, we need more because we're doing more episodes.
Yes.
And I know you have questions. I know it because we are living in a crazy world. There is so much going on in this world, not just politically, but like today's question will show you that. Today's question actually talks about something I have been dying to talk about because it's a good thing. It's been a good thing, but there's still so much confusion. And so, wow, we get to really thank you. Who sent this question?
I think it's anonymous.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous, thank you. Because this is a really...
His name was Relearning What It Means to Be a Man.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Well, anyway, we've got a wonderful show for you, so let's get started on it. Let's go with the question.
And if you want to ask your question, you can write us at soultalkalena@gmail.com.
She's really good at remembering those little links.
Okay. Dear Soul Talk, I have been hearing a lot about toxic masculinity lately. And honestly, I'm starting to realize I've internalized a lot of those patterns. I shut down my emotions. I act like I always have to be in control, and thinking that I'm vulnerable makes me weak. But at the same time, I don't really know what the alternative looks like. So I guess my question is, what does healthy masculinity look like when it's in balance with the sacred feminine? And how do I start embodying that instead of the toxic version I was taught?
He's done some research.
He has.
Wow.
We love a man who's educated.
I do too. I do. Okay. All right. Now, I don't think people know that I have worked, 5 years in through the court systems of the in the state that I was in. If you didn't play nice in court, relationships, divorces, whatever, or with the kids, you'd end up in class with me. Wasn't that fun? And I had everything. I had doctors and lawyers and gang members and toxic stuff. And I had farmers and I had manufacturers. I had everything, because I was in 3 or 4 different counties. So anyway, did I run into toxic?
Oh, I bet all the time.
That's the main thing we were fixing. And it's really interesting. And and I have a little thing for everyone. We always blame men, right? But do you know women? We put it under narcissist, but it's not. It's toxic masculinity because their masculine side is so strong. Yeah. And they take on the same deficits or behaviors that they learn from their dad.
I think
and
it's
they
more
apply
ego. You know what I mean?
All toxic, yes, but it's also insecurity.
Yeah.
So what is this male masculinity? Oh my gosh, it is.
I think it's a stereotype for what a man is. You know what I mean?
John Wayne.
Yeah, like just someone really like manly, and if you were to think of it, you would think someone like beefy and rough around the edges and set in his ways and stubborn.
See, I see it as different.
What do you see? I'm saying I think that's how people see men.
I know.
I know.
I see it because I've seen so much of it. I see it as men who have just kind of forgotten a whole big giant part of them.
Yeah.
And they've shut it down, and they can't cry.
They can't show any weakness. No
weaknesses whatsoever. They don't like to see weakness in others, but
they won't even what is the word?
I don't know.
They won't like admit when they're wrong.
They won't admit when they're wrong.
You can't hold them accountable.
You cannot hold them accountable because that shows weakness, right? Yeah. And their job is to take care of someone they feel is weaker, i.e. the woman.
Yeah.
Or the feminine part of that relationship. And so they just put you in that category, and they're going to take care of you, but it is very limiting. And because they have shut down all the emotions in themselves, they don't understand the emotions that their partner is having.
Absolutely.
And they're closed off. It is extremely hard to communicate about any kind of issue. It's extremely hard to raise kids. Really hard. Yeah. It's because they want to shut it down and you're not. And they get very domineering about it. They're the man.
Well, I've seen them not change diapers, not want to put kids in bed, not give them baths.
And you can't work. Don't work.
Yeah.
Right? Because your job is to raise those kids, which I don't want to do. But I want to make them, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's how it is. And but also in love making, it's very hard because it's all about them.
Yeah, I was about to say they're selfish lovers.
It's so funny that they're supposedly taking care of this person, but they are all about them. And you can say, oh, they're selfish. It's not that. It takes incredible concentration to keep yourself in that mode, to be the man. And not cry and not let things affect you that way, and you solve all the problems and you do it. It's a very tough role to stay in, and it's very closed off.
And it we see so many men that get to the breaking point of this. There's a lot of men who do. I don't know if you have ever heard of Dr. Pancake, who was in Chattanooga.
No.
He was a real doctor.
Dr. Pancake?
I'm pretty sure that was his name.
Wow.
He actually, R.I.P.
Can't forget that.
Unalived himself.
He did? Why?
I think he just had a lot going on. But that happens so often, and we see these men with all these pressures, and
they can't handle it.
Exactly. Or
We're not meant to do that.
They can't be like, hey, this really sucks, and I failed at this, or whatever. So what? Tomorrow's a new day. You might succeed at something else.
In the 50s and the 60s, well, even before that, the toxic male was just adored. And so, well, not the 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, the toxic male ruled.
Gross.
but this is the thing. This is the real thing. We have had a surgence, and I want to talk about this because this is important, because this is why this guy's writing me. Right. Tides are turning. We had, my sons were right in the middle of that, and it is the, all of a sudden, the he, she, all these new labels. Well, okay.
The pronouns?
You cannot be, okay, you can say, oh my God, those pronouns, and oh, come on. All right, but just wait a minute. Just wait. What they were actually doing is they are breaking down the definitions of what a man is and what a woman is. And what that really does is it takes down that masculine, that toxic masculine. It's not needed. You're people getting together. It is okay to be whoever you are. And it's starting to get closer to what Spirit has always said. Spirit, do you understand that in spirit, we are not male or female? I know you say, oh, I'm talking to my mother, I'm talking to my dad. Well, that's for us. By the way, also, they will also give you names for us to remember, which doesn't help me because I don't remember names. They really do. The Spirit is always saying, come back to home, come back to spirit, come back to the uniting the feminine divine and the masculine divine in our souls. And even Jesus said and they always think that it's physical. It's not, it's spiritual.
Right.
When you are neither male nor female, you are whole, meaning the souls are united into one. Now, what does that mean for our sexual stuff on earth? It means be you. And if you have if you are, just be you. Do the best in bringing out, and this answers his question, be the best in bringing out your wonderful qualities. It's going to take time, if you're a toxic male, to break down the belief system that you have to be this rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It is. But start chipping away. The biggest thing I ever saw in my classes when and one of the founders of the Alan, when he said, what is it? In 5 minutes, I leave you with these men and they're all in tears.
That's great. I love that.
But it wasn't, I was not mean. What I was talking about is how closed off they had been in their relationships and how it had hurt it. And that always, and spirit, people don't know this, but I'm always channeling. And when the spirit was talking to them and whatever it said, it would always bring them to tears. But I saw more men get back together with their wives.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to chip away at that so-called belief of what a masculine man has to be.
Right. And
when you do that, oh my gosh, the emotions come back in. The listening, they want to talk,
yeah,
right? They want to share precious moments. They want to have fun with you. They see you. That's the thing that women have to get used to. You're not going to be taken so-called care of, but you are a full partner,
right,
in all of it. And some women are having issues with that. It's actually, I see women having more issues. They want the toxic male, but they don't want the traits of a toxic male.
Exactly. My thing, I honestly had to get over this as well. The little mannerisms and things that people do, like, I don't know why we think, oh, that makes you gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why do we think that? I don't know why I thought that.
It's predetermined in
yes,
us,
and
you know?
There is something that Daniel does, my boyfriend.
He's going to love that we just put his name all over the place.
He's fine. He'll be all right. He does this thing that he's done since he was a kid, and he has curly hair, so he twirls his hair.
Lots of hair.
It's like a stem that he does.
Yeah.
And when I first met him, I was like, boy, why are you doing that? Why are you twirling your hair? And I had to think to myself, like, why would I ask him that?
Yes.
You know? And then I'm
Good
like,
for you.
So what? Like, if he was a kid and he was doing that, I wouldn't think anything of it.
Right.
So why am I thinking that? Because he's an adult male.
Right.
Like, it's stupid.
It's really funny that, and I think when we are open to that, we can love on a whole different plane.
Yeah.
Right? We're not putting expectation. Oh, you can't twirl your hair. You're a man. What is that? Right? Exactly. Now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm loving this other person so incredibly much for who he is. And he can twirl his hair. He can be silly. He's
the cook in the house, so.
Oh, he's a really good cook.
So I'm like,
he can come cook here any day.
I'll send him up. But I like that. And I like now that we have more women who are teaching their sons that it's okay that they can play with dolls and Barbies and kitchens and learning how to use washers and dryers and, all kinds of things.
Well, yes, they have to survive.
Right.
All my boys live on their own.
Before, if you got a boy a doll or something, men would freak out. Be like, oh, he's sissy, you can't play with that.
Yeah, no.
Well, now these women, who thankfully are smarter and educated, are buying their sons actual things like that to keep them, so they don't think that it's a woman's job to clean up their kitchen.
Well, and it also brings out their tenderness.
Whatever.
It brings
out
absolutely,
and the nurturing.
And to love another thing. Is drawn to a doll, it does not mean they're gay. It means that they're looking for something to care for.
Right. And that's so sweet.
My youngest loves stuffed animals. He has so many stuffed animals. Does that make him gay? No. It makes him love stuffed animals.
Yeah.
He loves that security, and where he's an adventurer. So wherever he goes, it's nice to have that security, right? So that's what he's looking for. It's okay. I think our problem is that we try to judge people by incredible regimented what they should be roles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we can just let go of the roles and let people be who they are, that's where we see the powerful gifts.
Agreed.
And the other thing is, sometimes it creates such hate. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the one I hear yelling about gays is actually this toxic male who's actually gay.
Yeah. Deep down they're gay.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So
that's why a lot of them cheat on so many women and they can't stay with them because they're truly gay. They belong with a man. That's what I believe anyway.
Funny, you might be right. I don't know, but I do think it's we are being, right now we're in a confusing place because we are dealing with the past of, and this guy, bravo, because this is a hard place.
This is critical thinking, and we love this.
This is yeah, exactly. Instigator or angel, we like this. You are in a place where we're going against the old beliefs, but we're not sure. We're still in this weird place of investigation.
Yeah.
You know, like I hear about it from my boys. You can't just go up and say hi in a coffee shop to a girl.
Yeah.
I said, well, then don't say hi. Do what I do, because I've gone up to people in coffee shops all the time, and I'm not trying to make a pass. I just like people. And so I'll say, oh, are you writing a book too? Or
what drink do you recommend?
Yeah, what drink do you recommend? Ask them an information, you know, and then see what comes from there. They can't just go up and say hello because a girl thinks that they are being creepy. See, there's just this...
And that's men's fault. I just want to say.
It's the toxic man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Goes up and acts like an idiot that he's the gift giving himself to you.
It's the entitlement, the you owe me. And we talked about that in last week's episode.
Yes, we did. So go back to that one because nobody owes anybody. But yeah, that was an interesting one. And so it's really a time when we're trying to feel out, what do our relationships look at now? And what do we want in a relationship? Or why in the heck do we even have to think about that?
Right.
And we also have the other thing where all these women are going back to trad wife. They want to be in the home and they want to do this. Yeah, well, that's all fine and dandy until you meet middle age and he wants this masculine male all of a sudden is getting the attention of all these 20-year-olds. Mm. And here you are with 5 kids and you can make bread, but you never got your degree.
And you never had a job, so you have no experience.
Yeah. And
they put you in a point where you depend on them.
You're dependent on them, but they are always going around behind your back.
And they have the upper hand in this situation.
See, and that is not what a relationship is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be equal.
And all this was brought about, believe it or not, because people were deciding to marry for love. We have never had that before. Everything was an alliance, or it was your station in life,
or necessity,
or how you were going to help, or it was a necessity, and because you couldn't survive on your own because there were so many laws against women. So women would just take the man who could provide the best, right? And everything was so freaking mixed up. We have messed up relationships. This is the first time. How very cool. The first time that we can love people for who they are, no matter what they are. And because we're seeing who they are, they're not acting out a role. They are, I mean, if you met my youngest son, he laughs so freely, and he's funny, and he's I think he should be a lawyer. He always likes to debate, but he is funny. And my oldest, who is extremely intelligent, can be the goofiest guy I've ever met, right? And my middle one is just full of heart, and he's probably the most masculine, but he is also so full of heart, and he's not afraid to show it. Now, that's how I raised my boys. Now, did I let them play? I let them play with whatever they wanted to play. And a lot of them loved Goosebumps or baseball, or Lord knows we went through enough sports to last us a lifetime. But I let them just be them. That's what I did. I let them be people. People. If they had to cry, they had to cry.
And that's why they love you and they have a good relationship with you now.
Yeah, but this is the first time this is happening everywhere. Yeah. And we have to let go. And for this guy, be patient with yourself. Be patient, because it's a journey. We're all on a journey. And allow yourself to, dare I say, start to open.
And feel.
Those,
He said that he, felt vulnerable and stuff. And if it was wrong, if you get sad or you get an emotion, feel it.
Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to start feeling. Allow yourself to see the flowers in the field and think that's beautiful.
Well, no, it doesn't make you less of anything.
It makes you closer to who you truly are, your spirit. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the more you open the door and that spirit of you starts to bloom, oh my gosh, you are going to be so much happier.
Yes.
It is such freaking freedom. And people will be drawn to you because you are your authentic, sacred self.
And you don't have to mask for anybody.
No.
And you shouldn't.
Because everybody knows it's fake.
Yeah.
Really, seriously. And it's whether they want to play with that role or not.
Right.
But most women would love to be. The best things I love to do with the man I'm seeing is to just talk. I love when we can just talk and plan new adventures and just be. And one of the best gifts he can give me is that he understands what I'm saying and he doesn't knock me for my opinions. He might have a different opinion, but then we discuss it openly and we allow ourselves to have those opinions, because we come from totally different backgrounds, right? So that's the sharing. It's the sharing I love, or sneaking a wonderful dessert between us that we know neither one of us should have, but we love it. That's the kind of thing I treasure between us. Or we find a TV show we just love, or he laughs at me because I like the psychopath in the movie. And those kinds of sharing. And you can't do that with a toxic man, because they just don't get it. They're shut off. So as you open, this is what you have to look forward to. And it's what that person in your life, whoever you choose, no matter what sex, is going to love the most about you.
Yeah, I agree.
We agree.
Yeah.
We agree more than we disagree sometimes.
Yeah. It's hard to be an instigator on the toxic masculinity part.
Well, if you were a male, it wouldn't be hard.
I know. If I was a male, I'd have it down. But no, I don't know. I don't see a point of it.
No, because it hurts us, right?
Right.
Yeah, nobody likes that, instigator or angel, right?
I hope it helped him.
I do.
Opens up and
I hope he hears
himself.
this. Guys, send in your questions.
Yes.
Because right now, like I said, we're in a cool place. Some people think we're in an awful place. Some people want to put it back 150 years. Don't let them do that. We are closer to the real authenticness of being ourselves than we've ever been. And being truly happy. Do you know how many women in the 50s were on drugs? Downers.
Oh, I'm sure.
To mask their feelings, and alcoholics, and smoking like food. My mom was a mess. Her anxiety was through the roof. She hated all women. Is that what we want to go back to?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
It's not. So open up. Get rid of your toxic. Just take it step by step. Just start to feel and know it's okay.
And if you need more help, you can contact her directly.
Yeah, it can. It's probably, I don't always say this, but you know what? It's probably a good idea. Because it's a weird world you're going on a weird journey. And as you break down these things, you're going to feel very unsure. Right. And that's where I come in. I help you. I help you to feel sure and break down with safety and just feeling good about your breaking down, instead of saying, what now is happening to me? Right?
Or get it together.
Or get it together. I can't do this. Yeah, no, don't do that. Okay? Yeah, just PM me. Just PM me on any social media, or contact me How can they contact?
Soultalkalena@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of it.
And just let me know, hey, Alena, I want to talk to you. I want to see how I can work with you in some way, and I'll help you. I'll help you. Okay?
Yeah.
We love you all. Send
Love
in
you
us
guys.
questions and keep watching. Send this out to all the toxic males who don't want to be toxic males. Yeah?
Please.
Yeah, please do.
Send
Let's
it anyway.
change the world.
Be an instigator today.
Namaste. Yeah, that's kind of an instigator. I agree. I had an instigator moment. Namaste, everyone. We love you.
Bye.
Make the most brightest world you can make. Bye.